right, so right away, let's go ahead and pause this very first fight and look for positioning and understanding their team. So their team is, we got a Doomfist at the front, but they don't really have a huge dive team. I guess you could maybe say that Venture is a dive hero, but is much more of a brawl. I don't really feel like Venture qualifies under dive, although like, I guess they dive under the ground, but you get what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to get in this habit now, and I realized this at the beginning, of looking for what my coaches teasingly refer to as the slow kid, meaning like physically slow. Don't read into that. And we look for that. And in this case, it's going to be the Life Weaver, right? You're not, going to jump a Sombra. You're not jumping Venture. You're not jumping Doomfist. You might be able to jump a Lucio, but that's going to be hard compared to Life Weaver. So let's see how this fight plays out here a little bit. We immediately get a great pick on the Doomfist. This is a really great start. Keep in mind, I'm actually still learning Junker Queen, so there's going to be some mechanical issues with Junker Queen for sure. I get hacked. Excuse me. We're going to fast forward just a little bit. We go ahead and force point. This was my call. I remember that in game. And I'm basically saying, don't worry about it with force point. Again, if I hit that knife, that Life Weaver dies a lot quicker. We're looking around, trying to figure out what's going on. We have point. Yep, we call out Lucio there. Lucio gets absolutely dumpstered on. They force point here, so I'm going to drop down onto point. Just noticed this Doomfist has the new skin. That's a pretty dope skin. I don't know how I didn't notice that in game. Okay, yeah, see, like I said, my Junker Queen mechanics, that knife throw could use a lot of work. We've noticed that. That's something I can spend some time in Vaxta fixing, though, so... Yeah, and honestly, even just my use there of the knife, did I have... yeah, so like, I have one of my other cooldowns would have made a bit more sense as I'm in here. Why did I lead with a throwing knife here? Couldn't tell you why I did that. I had whatever the strike is there. I always forget what that's called, but I don't know why I used the knife instead, because that would have made it easier to get this Life Weaver, not that we didn't anyway. Details and semantics. Overall, I don't feel like that fight went terribly. I think a lot of it that I'm noticing so far is just my mechanical inability to play Junker Queen so far. And that's fine. When you're learning to play Junker Queen, you're learning to play Junker Queen. So we're going to go ahead and skip a little ways into the next fight. I'm starting to see it. I may have skipped a little bit too far forward. So let's go ahead and play it at 2x speed. Okay, so they're now on Orisa. They've also swapped off of the Lucio and onto Moira. Other than that, team composition is the same. So this is a little bit more into a like dive poke-ish composition. Okay, so one of the things I am noticing though, my target priority so far is very bad. One of the things that we learned last week's VOD review was that I needed to look for more opportunities and capitalize on them. I feel like overall I'm doing that. Like I noticed when I was going after the Doomfist, it was after he had used both of his cooldowns. But I do feel like my target priority is severely lacking here. I am literally just hard locked on this Orisa. Why? There's literally a Life Weaver actively healing her and he pulls her out. So she lives. Sort of. My DPS gets a great pick there, but shouldn't have had to be an ultimate to kill the Orisa. So let's go ahead and skip to the next fight here. Should be starting right about here. Really what I'm looking for here is target priority. I wonder if that was one of the big reasons we ended up losing this game. Those are the games I typically review. My target priority is decent here. I hadn't played against Venture very much, so I'm still trying to learn my way around that. I need to, if I'm not mistaken, there's actually a hero off to my left here. Am I wrong? Yeah, they got the Sombra. I mean, chasing the Sombra would kind of be silly, but... So I dropped this. I do remember when I made this drop, I'm like, wait, why did I do this? This was part of the reason we lose this fight, is because I drop down and then I commit to it, and I'm playing with a stack, so I'm calling for my stack to drop. But really what I should have done is I actually should have been the one to proactively go back up. Again, I don't know why I dropped. It's kind of silly. I use Shout here, trying to get the Sombra. She gets away because I missed that knife. She hacks me again, and I'm sure I die on point. Okay, actually, I almost get the Moira there. That would have been pretty cool. But, I mean, realistically, that was one fundamental decision. My target priority wasn't necessarily good or bad there. The big decision that lost us that fight was my dropping from height. Okay, so one of my supports gets a good pick here. EMP happens. Okay, not too bad. They do, oh, and so this is something I didn't realize until just now. That is why we were getting rolled. Venture started ulting there. Again, mechanical inability here. I needed to go up and move up on my Alari here. I needed to get... I don't know why I'm playing so scared. I needed to move up with my Alari. So far, so what are we noticing? Both of my deaths, the similarity is that I wasn't playing with my team. And on Junker Queen especially, you really need to play with your team. So, we've learned that so far. I'm also watching to see if I'm taking advantage of opportunities, which right here, not the worst ult, right? We get the Alari. Yeah, honestly, I did see an opportunity here. I feel like that's better fundamentally as far as my tank play goes. But again, see, look, here's the moment that I swapped target priority. Moira somehow is getting away. I really thought she was gonna die here, so I just swapped targets. Yeah, again, that Moira just getting away. Oh, yeah, see, she ults here. I don't really have much of a thing we can do. I go for a shout. I have no idea where she went. Oh, she faded all the way through there? Holy cow. I actually did not know that. I was bamboozled in this moment. Okay. But they are already on the point. We're going to fast forward a bit here. I knew the Moira was behind me. I just didn't care. I needed to get with my team, and I knew that. I used shout to get up there closer. Slow it back down a bit now that we're getting into the fight. So far, what I'm noticing is I am just completely unaware of my team. I'm questioning whether I should have been shooting the Alari pylon there. That is a tendency that the pylon is almost like my ADD moment where I'm like, oh, I should shoot that, even though there's like active damage coming out from the whole team. And to a certain point, you want to cut off the healing, right? But like, was that the best priority there? Maybe not. and I'm thinking that I probably die here. Oh yeah, I definitely die here after I get hacked there. I remember I eventually get frustrated because of the Sombra. Okay, eventually being now. And I just swapped to Zarya. I main Zarya, for those of you that don't know. So my Zarya plays mechanically will be a lot better than, well, theoretically they'll be a lot better than Junker Queen. Why did I forget her name for a second there? Jeez. Okay, so I go ahead and use both of my bubbles here, realizing I have both of my bubbles used. I go ahead and bubble our Cassidy. Ooh, the bubble usage here was questionable. And again, target priority. I only have an Orisa to shoot at, but right here, I should have actually moved toward the Sombra and killed the Sombra. Yeah, it was just a bad ultimate from our DPS. He even went, I don't know why I did that. I still remember that. That was kind of funny to me. All right. So this one is a very hard fought point, as I remember, but so far I'm still noticing target priority for some reason is just lacking in this game. Now, interestingly, this game was one of 2 losses out of 9 games that night. So we had a really good night, just this was a really rough game. And so far it's seeming like some very fundamental basics that just I need to concentrate on keeping. And that is that I need to focus the right target to me. Why am I shooting the Orisa? Here it makes sense. But why am I not shooting the Alari that's over there on the right? I don't know. Fortunately, our Genji pops off. I don't know why I'm playing like a coward here. I need to move up. Well, I guess I'm capping point, but my team, again, where is my team and why am I not playing with them? Okay, so they get the Venture there, I think. Watching for a bubble opportunity. Oh yeah, okay, so I should have bubbled sooner, but that's okay, that's a mechanical thing. And then that was like way too late on the bubble there. Okay, I'm trying to charge up some bubbles. Yeah, got a nice 16 charge there, nothing crazy. So, I've now burned both bubbles. My Zarya gameplay is a little rough in this game. I think I just was super distracted. That's what my gut says, is that I was just distracted about what was going on. So Venture's soloing on point. There we go. Okay, now I need to be moving up and taking more space, which I don't do for some reason. And actually, I think my support player, Dalen, here is actually calling it out. He's going, hey, you need to play this corner. Come up here with me. So I'm 5 stacking in here. These are actually all members of my team that I'm planning to take into the OWCS of 2025. So realizing she's got her ultimate. Yep, I tried to save both bubbles, but she chimed that way better. Again, much better target priority. Trying to call out for the Moira. I almost get her, but now I have my grav. So fundamentally, they use 1, 2. Did they use? Because they use Alari ult too, I think, right? So there's a Riss ult. Yep. So they use 3 ultimates here. So they just had an ult advantage, but we also used 2 ultimates as I'm looking at that there. So realistically, there really shouldn't have been. There shouldn't have been that much of a pub stomp. Okay, yep. Team gets pushed a bit. Slow this back down a teeny bit. We are just being held at way back here because we start staggering at this point, as I recall. And that's one of the fundamental issues with Flashpoint is like if you can get the enemy team staggering, they lose almost every time. Just because of how quickly it moves. Like this is now 80%. And we aren't even moving up. So I start calling like we gotta go, but I'm literally just like, okay, I guess I just run at him at this point. So fundamentally, I think the thing that really like just didn't work out well, because that'll be 3rd point and they win. So let's recap this a little bit and see what we need to take into next week. Fundamentally, the looking for opportunities I think was better, but I think when I'm looking at that game, what I'm seeing is just a fundamental lack of, well, fundamentals, as redundant as that might sound. And I really think that ultimately overall, I just need to continue to work on the looking for opportunities. And I think we need to get more specific and look for opportunities to take out the better targets, because that's where this one seemed to struggle the most. If you want to keep up with this journey of me taking myself and my team to the OWCS in the fall of 2025, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'll catch you in the next one.